All right, the yellow light is back on once again for the seat that is hot in the hot seat live. Once again, back at it for a review, this time for NXT. And going back to basics too on my videos and stuff like that as a side note to bring that out there, that all the gaming stuff will be moved and everything, and having all the wrestling talk and everything else be here. I be brought back, and the last one we did was like, God, like a couple of months ago. It's been a long ass time. So we are back here for In the Hot Seat Live for NXT Takeover Brooklyn numero tres, number 3. And I'm not alone. I got the Canadian Madman has joined me, or in the way. Mr. Raphael Leduc. Leduc, what's up, man?
Not much. It's been going good and ready to talk about what happened tonight at NXT Takeover Brooklyn.
All right, yeah. So as we get in along with that, we'll probably have some random appearances. As always, it's kind of typical of the show. So probably have Austin from Boston come in some random way. But with that being said, yeah, overall thoughts on NXT Takeover. I guess we'll go right into the matches as I have it right now and just break it down. Where we had Andre Cien Almas, and he was taking on Johnny Gargano in this basically singles debut, if you will, for NXT to open things off the show. And I was actually thoroughly impressed on how well this match was doing and everything else. And surprised on the winner that we did get to see for Andre Cien Almas. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the actual feud, if that's going to continue or not. I like Cien Almas and his manager. I think they're a really cool pair. So, very well done and a surprise way to start things off for the show overall. But yeah, what did you think about this match to start things off?
I thought it was great. I thought, honestly, I figured that this match, the opening match, was probably the match of the night. Because to me, I wasn't expecting too much out of this match. Cien Almas has kind of been there and not, like, he's been kind of not a consistent performer as of late, because he kind of came in as supposed to be a baby face, but the problem is that he came in against, I believe, was Austin Aries.
Yeah.
So he kind of came in already on the losing end because Aries was very popular. But yeah, and Gargano, of course. Gargano was a great wrestler. I think to me, the thing that really added something special to the match was, of course, the T-shirt being thrown in, the DIY T-shirt. And it shows that Ciampa and that the Ciampa Gargano feud is still gonna happen no matter what.
Yeah, when that happened, I was gonna say I thought that was like the White Tower or something, but I saw it was a T-shirt, so at least the match was able to continue after that. But yeah, we'll see how things are gonna go. I'm pretty interested to see how Johnny Gargano is gonna be doing in his singles one, so that's gonna be pretty cool to see there. Then when we have Sanity and the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team Championship match, and this one, actually was a good match. I'll say that, and basically having like chaotic stuff, and we saw a table spot at one point. We didn't see the match actually officially start until after a while. Everybody going everywhere basically, and I thought it was cool and well done how they have Sanity actually get the win and become tag team champions. That's what I wanted, and that's really cool. So it's actually really dope to see Eric Young now champion, but as a tag team champion in NXT, and that's really interesting to see how Sanity is going to be able to deal with things with the rest of the tag team division, and where Authors of Pain are going to go, maybe get called up. But so yeah, Leduc, your thoughts on the tag team match?
I think the tag team match was, again, another fantastic match. I think the two tag team matches, for technically 3 for tomorrow night, are probably going to be not as good. Alexander Wolf, honestly, he showed a lot in this match. I felt like he was probably the breakout star for this match. I know WWE is a big fan of Killian Dane. And Nikki Cross is just entertaining. And Nikki Cross is just so entertaining, and Eric Young, of course, everyone loves him. So I feel like Sanity is going to be on fire right now. And AOP, they had their run. A lot of people are probably going to complain that it was too short, but I felt like it was just good enough. They destroyed the baby face team, and they sent the revival over to the main roster. So it was time for them to lose the belts. And now with the debut also of Red Dragon after the match, or the ROH guys, I think the tag division on NXT is definitely gonna be interesting, and I think it's gonna be something to watch. But the match, like I said, the match itself was great. I'm just not trying to repeat myself from my review, and it was surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. I think it was the surprise of the night because Gargano Almas, I kind of figured Gargano was going to have a great performance, but that tag match surprised me, and I'm very proud. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. So congratulations to Sandy and to Eric Young being champion in WWE.
Yeah, it was actually pretty crazy, like seeing three different companies in the way with WWE, TNA, and Ring of Honor basically in one ring like that, like I mentioned before. But yeah, seeing Red Dragon, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to see how they're gonna come into play. They're looking to get the tag team titles. They basically made their statement there right after the match, so that was a really cool treat. And also, we saw bunch of other surprises from like Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan, and some of the stars from the past from NXT actually showing up. So that was actually making it somewhat of a homecoming, which is cool. Also, where we had Aleister Black and Hideo and Tommy, and this one was mainly more of a fight, and these two like kicking the shit out of each other and everything. These two going back and forth, and ended up being some of a and having JR on commentary, which made it worthwhile. So, Aleister Black getting the win and defeating Hideo Itami. So, I believe Aleister Black is still basically undefeated. So, this is going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure this might continue. I like to see where things will go between the two and everything. So, that was a pretty entertaining brawl, basically, and fight between Hideo Itami and Aleister Black. How about you?
I agree that you kind of gave it the aspect that was not really a match but a fight, and of course having Jr. to there, you kind of figured it was going to be, to paraphrase good old Jr. It was going to be a slabanaka. So I kind of
Yeah.
I figured match like it was. I was not disappointed. I thought it was very good. Hideo seems to be fitting into the heel role very well, and Aleister Black is he's probably the biggest wild card in NXT because he's a great performer, and he's just we've heard him a little bit on the mic. But what's interesting is that you know it's like a song says, no man is truly good, no man is truly good, no man is truly evil. So he's kind of a wild
Right.
card. So I think it'll be interesting. Plus, he's kind of in a weird situation right now because I figure if his match against Hideo after, he could be looking towards a title push. But if they have Adam Cole and Bobby Roode probably gonna have his rematch, I feel he's kind of stuck in a interesting situation. Mr. Black is.
Yeah, that's gonna be something to look out for. But yeah, also what I noticed too throughout the show, like we did see some musical appearances and stuff like that, something that we haven't seen in quite some time that added a lot more, especially for Aleister Black's entrance, which is a really nice touch to see that. So that was dope there. I like that the band basically sang for him, so that was cool. But yeah, then we get into the next match where we had the NXT Women's Championship match, and I was torn between the two. But we have Asuka and Ember Moon, and this one was more so for Ember Moon because I felt like it was her time and everything, and it felt like the eclipse was going to come early because literally there's going to be eclipse like this weekend. So kind of goes into that, I guess. But the streak actually is continues, which is pretty crazy, with Asuka still being the NXT Women's Champion. So I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I guess Asuka's gonna be undefeated and champion until she goes to the main roster, because I don't know what more they can do. I feel like Ember Moon was gonna be having her time since she came back. She came back from injury and stuff like that, so she had a lot going for her and everything. So these two really had a great match, probably one of my matches of the night, basically, and one of my favorite match for NXT Takeover. So, yeah, these two really had it all. So, what are your thoughts on that?
This match was good. I don't think it was the best match tonight. I thought it was. The match itself was good. I felt if the result was I guess I could say the good result to me, which would have been Ember to win. I felt the match would have been a little bit higher on my grading, I guess how you could say. But to
Yeah.
me, I just felt like the best finish for this match was, like you said, to give Ember her time finally. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because they're scared of having Ember not being champion, or Ember, I mean Asuka, so they're kind of trying to still keep her as champion as long as possible before they have her do something else. I don't know if it's they don't trust Ember Moon to have consistent performances, which she's had for a long time. It's kind of an interesting situation. To me, I think there's two options they could do here. They could. Oh, obviously, there's the easiest option, which is the Mae Young Classic winner, which the winner will be
Oh, yeah.
determined in September in Las Vegas. Or you keep using the losses to Asuka as kind of a sympathy factor for Ember to maybe keep making her be face. I guess it's kind of a weird
Yeah, that's true.
situation for Ember. She's kind of stuck in a place where she could be NXT Women's Champion, but it's just she's facing this dominant person. And to me, what really kind of irked me is at least in Orlando, they the reason why I say Ember's kind of had her shot is um, at least in Orlando, they had Asuka avoid the Eclipse by using Ref. But then this match, they actually have her use the Eclipse, and Asuka kicks out, which basically just kills the mystique of the Eclipse, which no one ever kicked out of until Asuka kicked out of it. So, and then she taps out, and it was not really of a heelish finish. It was somewhat clean, so it kind of shows to me that I think, as much as I'd love to see Ember as women's champion, I don't think she's probably gonna get the title until someone takes it off Asuka. And as much as I hate it, I think it's gonna be the Mae Young winner, which is probably gonna be Shayna Baszler, but it could also be her Asuka's fellow countryman Kerry Sane. So it's an interesting situation going on here in NXT for the women's division, and because if you look at the other wrestlers on the division, there's no one really else to challenge Asuka. Payne Royce and Billie Kay, she's beaten them both before. Nikki Cross, she's beat her. Ruby Riott, she's beat her. And the new arrivals from the tournament are only going to show up around the end of the tournament, so
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting. But I do figure that it's probably going to be the Mae Young winner because by the time they determine the winner, it'll be time for NXT Takeover in Houston for Survivor Series weekend. So we'll see what happens. But good match, disappointing result. I kind of figured Ember should win, but Asuka keeps the streak going, and I love how they're basically treating Asuka's streak just like Taker streak, where the
Yeah.
hashtag was hashtag the streak. I'm like,
Hmm.
all right, what's next? You're gonna fucking call it a female Undertaker, but I feel bad for Ember. But the women's division is the one really division coming out of NXT Takeover that we don't really have a clear cut path for the future of the division.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how it is, but I just kind of have that feeling, like I said, like all the way until she gets to the main roster, then maybe they'll vacate the title or something, have a tournament. But I like your idea too. Maybe we'll have like with the women's tournament and everything, we'll have the winner face Asuka and then have her be defeated then. But only time would tell. It's kind of up in the air at this point. So I don't think they're gonna.
I enjoy your idea of vacating the belt and having a tournament. It's basically what they did with Paige when Paige was NXT Women's Champion, that she ended up going on the main roster and she just never got around to losing the title. But her was different. Her wasn't because she was like on the streak. Her was just basically because they put the belt Divas title on her and they just had to take one of the belts off of her. So they said, so we'll see what happens. But to me, it's a little bit frustrating because it's nothing against Asuka herself. It's just that you know
Exactly.
it's been a year. It's been more than a year, and she's defeated everyone. Look, ever since she got the title, Bailey, Nia Jax, Bailey again, um, your crush Mickey James, and then it went to
Yeah.
to Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, Nikki Cross, and then went to Nikki Cross, then it went to Ember, then it went back to Nikki Cross, and then went back to Ember. So it's kind of a, and if you had Ruby Riott that was in there, it's kind of a fucked up situation. I almost feel like the only way Asuka's ever gonna lose that title is if it's a multi-person match, like they'll have like to have a really like a six-way thing where like, everyone just beats up Asuka at the beginning.
Yeah, like a six-pack women's challenge or a fatal five-way or something.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But then again, they could be holding Ember's win off for Texas since she does hail from Dallas and Survivor Series is in Houston. So
Yeah, that's true.
could be a nice homecoming moment for Ember, but we'll see.
Hmm.
I got
Yeah, unless they have someone else return like they did with Mickey James and then have it that way, but I don't see it happening that way either.
Oh yeah, that fucking Trish Stratus show up in fucking Houston.
Oh god, he'll probably
call Mickey James and be like, let's go again. No thanks. I'll pass my turn. I'm happy wrestling Emma on Monday Night Raw.
I mean, it'd be a great match, but Asuka would still be undefeated. But
it wouldn't be that great. We saw it once. It was a nice little fun thing. You blew your load seeing your idol Mickey James. Let's move on.
I'll give it that. There's a great return. That takes.
All right.
Yeah. Next topic. Anyway, we got the main event. Of course, Bobby Roode and Drew McIntyre going at it. And with this one, actually, could have went to either or, but we have a new champion now, and Drew McIntyre taking the NXT title. And not only that, we also had a return of Adam Cole. So Adam Cole also making his presence known and wanting the NXT championship and everything. So, and we also kind of saw like that kind of deal that was going on, like with the stable and invasion type of thing. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out and everything, since I like the idea and how they're going to do that. So it looks like Adam Cole is looking to be associated with Red Dragon in the stable and stuff like that. So we'll see where that goes, and I'm sure by whichever show they'll have Drew McIntyre, maybe they'll have a triple threat or something like that, or a fatal four-way. Maybe add Roderick Strong in there, since I'm sure he wants the NXT championship back. Well, actually wants it to get his rematch back, basically. So that was the main event where Drew McIntyre was able to finally get a championship in the first time in a long time for the NXT title. So your thoughts on the main event and the new champion and Adam Cole debuting?
I'm happy. I'm happy that Drew McIntyre won. I feel like it was the right thing for him to do. I felt like you brought him in Orlando and you had him come up so quickly. I figured the path for him was going to be to the NXT championship, and I'm happy that they put the belt on him tonight. I felt like it was like a kind of a full circle moment, so I'm happy for Drew McIntyre. The match itself was good. It was kind of slow at some parts, but I guess it's just the style of Drew and Bobby. With Drew being such a big man. Drew has gone huge during his time away from NXT. He's gone very big. But yeah, I'm very happy for Drew. I'm happy about the result, and of course, like you said, Adam Cole debuting, not returning, debuting in NXT.
Yeah.
It was one of the moments where you kind of predicted it was going to happen, but you still knew it was going to be awesome. So Adam Cole, showing up. Adam Cole just showing up, and with the Red Dragon stable, it adds a new heel element to NXT, and it'll make stable NXT. It'll be interesting to see how Red Dragon does only the tag division. Will be interesting to see how Adam Cole fits into the NXT World Title picture with again with Drew now as champion. Bobby's probably gonna want his rematch. Roderick Strong is probably over there saying, "I want my shot." So it's going to be an interesting time in NXT for that mid top picture, and I'm happy Adam Cole has made it. It's another guy which a lot of people didn't figure would make it to WWE yet, who's had a lot of success outside WWE, and he's made it here, and he's going to bring in a lot of new fans from ROH who were not big fans of WWE. They're going to come into NXT and be intrigued, and it shows again how a lot more people trust NXT's the foundation and how NXT better than they trust how just the main roster works, and it's just it just shows how good Triple H things down at Full Sail. So all these independent superstars for Steen and with the addition of Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, and others,
Oh
it
yeah.
just pays evidence how Triple H is revolutionizing NXT a lot, and it's almost on right now. We always SmackDown, but we almost had a point where shows on television, and you have to mention NXT because NXT's, sometimes the week to week is less consistent. Sometimes we'll have matches that are less interesting, but when you get to a takeover, it just feels different. And as I'm quoting Simon Michael here, who's it's been well documented in his interactions with me that we're from two different eras, and he says, and he's happy how Triple H has been able to make takeovers feel very more of an Attitude Era show than a
Yeah,
current
exactly.
PG.
Because I was saying on
More
Twitter, like this is exactly like what me and Simon and Chris are pretty much more used to, and even like the less important matches, they actually make it seem like even much more special, and you actually get a little bit more excited, and there's not so much, bad things going on. It doesn't feel like slow pace or anything like that. So it's a whole different atmosphere in the way how Triple H handles things, and you can see the difference from like both brands. And SmackDown and NXT is kind of like in the same thing because they're not, nearly as long and stuff, and it's more easier to sit through. So, yeah, NXT literally did take over in a good way, and this is probably like one of my favorite NXT takeovers that I've seen.
It's definitely up there in the best takeovers. If you're gonna, to me, I still stand to takeovers to the first Brooklyn takeover. That show just escape up not only NXT but World Wrestling to Entertainment all together. That event and the matches on that show, gave us stuff like the Women's Revolution, which gave us Charlotte and Sasha on the roster, and first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, first ever Hell in a Cell match for women, the first ever um, tables match for women. So it's NXT has done not NXT, but you feel how NXT the changes that resonate in NXT can be felt all the way up to the main roster, which just shows the work that Triple H is putting into NXT. And there's always the talk about people thinking what's going to be for the future of wrestling entertainment is the answer. And to me, it just runs NXT. The
Yeah,
answer
I mean,
The answer should be yes. Triple H could take care of the main of WWE if it comes to that situation.
yeah, and in other words, Triple H and NXT making the main roster humble for tonight. That's what it seems like. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they, they broke their back and made them humble.
yeah, and better words for the Iron Sheik. But yeah, then of course we got the 24-hour special for SummerSlam, the Slamming Summer, Summerfest, whatever you want to call it. So we'll see what kind of surprises, if there is any, for SummerSlam. So within that time, I'm sure we'll probably see a little something, probably not nearly as great as NXT or anything like that. But I will say this for NXT, it is probably one of the, since WrestleMania 33. So I would say the second best show of the year. So that's basically overall my thoughts and opinions so far on NXT. Unless you have any other final conclusions overall on NXT as a whole for tonight.
To me, a lot of people like to compare NXT and SummerSlam. To me, SummerSlam is a lot more of a spectacle. It's a wrestling show. And SummerSlam is more used as an entertainment spectacle, which again pisses off a lot of the hardcore fans. But I do think SummerSlam almost midnight, which means I could say 2 nights. It's going to be great. I'm expecting a good show for SummerSlam. Last year, SummerSlam had its moments. Me, it's a lot of people always like to say, "Oh, NXT won the weekend. NXT won the night." NXT has won the weekends for so many events that it's no longer fair to say it so much. I
Yeah.
think what most people need to say is that NXT doesn't need to win the weekend. NXT is usually the wrestling show of the weekend, while
No,
the
yeah.
entertainment spectacle is obviously SummerSlam. So, congratulations to everyone for NXT Takeover Brooklyn from on there, and I was very impressed by the show, and it makes me look forward to the next takeover, which I think is looking up to be Takeover Houston in at the so for Survivor Series weekend. So it's definitely gonna be interesting. Unless they for one, you should put one in Charlotte, North Carolina, just so you can
Yeah.
pretend that you want to go.
Well, there you go. I
But yeah,
mean, I wouldn't mind go to the final NXT Takeover Brooklyn Quattro #4 on that, and then they already went to Toronto, so maybe they'll go to Montreal for that takeover.
uh, like I told Simon, if WrestleMania in New Orleans and Takeover New Orleans doesn't work out, I don't mind heading to the Big Apple for SummerSlam and Brooklyn. So it'll be there. Maybe Vince McMahon will be there.
Definitely.
We will see what happens. But most importantly, the Fortminorproject subscribers should be there. Just trying to sound all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, actually, that would be like my second major show since the Royal Rumble '08. So yeah, that would be the cool thing to actually go to SummerSlam, the other Big Four pay-per-view that I haven't been. So that's kind of like on a bucket list type of thing to go to the Big Four pay-per-view. So we'll see. There's always a chance. So I'm gonna try my best to go to not only just NXT Takeover for next year, but for SummerSlam in itself. So we'll have to wait and see what that and the plans will go on that. So the return of In the Hot Seat Live for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. And with that being said, I don't think we'll go live because I know it'll be like really late by the time SummerSlam ends. So I'll probably just do like a regular solo video on that. With that being said, we got Duke. Appreciate you, man, for joining me, and you're welcome to plug yourself before we end things off.
Well, I appreciate for you inviting me. So obviously, subscribe to the Rafa Duke Page Guide channel. All my reactions to NXT Takeover Brooklyn Trace are all on there. And might as well plug that tomorrow night I will be in Simon Michael HD's hometown and at his place for live reactions for SummerSlam. So if you want to see my live reactions, it will be on his channel. So make sure to check that out. And besides that, Instagram, Leduc Raphael. On Twitter, at Raphael Leduc. I've been kind of looking to getting a Twitch to kind of for my video
Nice.
game stream, since I kind of did a Madden stream yesterday and I kind of didn't catch on, so I figured I might as well just for the stream. So when I do end up getting a stream channel, I will plug this. But for now, like I said, Raphael Leduc on YouTube's, Raphael Leduc on the Twitters, and Leduc Raphael on the Instagram.
All right. So for me, so definitely go check all that out. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then.